Hello everybody, how y'all doing? Do you heart New York? Everybody's biggest theme at the moment is INIBUILDS or INIBUILDS KJFK. It's awful, it's stutterfest, it's slow motion, it's a slideshow, it's PowerPoint. Yeah, they all come out the lines now. And I get it, if you're struggling with the scenery, it's horrible. And of course, right in the flare, you know it's going to stutter, and it just kills the immersion. This scenery has actually been working fine for me. So here's a little test, but of course you can't have everything in life. Jeez, how nice does that look? You can't have everything in life. I mean, what I mean is, you want high frames and with top settings. Yeah, I mean, I think it's asking a bit too much, so got to be a little bit modest on your settings. I don't have a great system, a 2080 Ti. Yeah, so the frames per second at bottom right here. I'll try and make this quick and show my settings, and I think it's smooth. I've had landings at 22 FPS, but it's smooth, no stutters. I've done 15 landings here, and yeah, if you get a little bit too much AI, FSLTL, then yeah, of course all things add up. It's the AI, the whatever, the lighting, the settings, with the aircraft. I mean, the Phoenix here, you know, that's a killer for some people. So, but here we go. Anyway, I'll show you my settings in a moment. But let's see, it's running 31 frames per minute right now. But of course, I'm just showing a tail of an aircraft. That's about it. But look, I mean, it's smooth. Okay, and pan around. Oh my God, look at that A330. Yeah, I've got quite a lot of AI here. You can see, I think I'm on 70 IFR setting on FSLTL. Of course, now I'm going to sort of get to the terminal. It's going to get a little bit more stuttery, we could say, but it's moving around okay. And you know, we know MSFS is a little bit heavy on frames on the external views, and this is an 8K livery, so that's alright, isn't it? I mean, okay, you can stop watching the video now if that's stuttery to you, so I can't help you. And have a nice flight. But if yours looks like my sim will in the moment, stuttery, and you want it to look like this, it's possible. I mean, look at that. That's okay. And I'm going to tell you here, I've also got over there in the distance Samsung City Times or whatever they call it, and somewhere over here there's feel there LaGuardia, and way over in the distance is Newark. So I've got everything possible here to kill the scenery or kill the frames. Pretty cool, right? Oh, look at that, landing halfway down the runway, the CRJ over there. Okay, so back to the slideshow. I mean, sorry, back to the show. So what are my settings? Let's show you in a moment. I'm now at 24 frames per minute. That's about, no, sorry, frames per second. I said minute. That would be a slideshow. Yeah, if I'm in the mid-20s at the scenery, it's good. I can fly here. It's fine. Let's go inside. Of course, it's going to take a moment to load up. 15, 18, back in the mid-20s, 24 frames. I mean, that's panning around okay for me. Okay. This sim, when you're changing views, sometimes we have a stutter at the best of times, but that's okay, isn't it? Or not? Okay, well, what I'm just going to do quickly now is just quickly go into panel states. I know I should push back, but I'm not going to bother with that. GSX works great, but of course, right now, you know, it's not going to work. So let's go for ready here. And while the engines are starting up, okay, let's show you my my settings. First of all, this is important here. When you're in the manager here, let's go to my products. Let's kill that. Okay, there. And let's see. I'm expecting here soon version 1.01 or whatever, with hopefully like Heathrow, where we have the SD textures. But right for now here, we can turn off some of these things. Do you really need landside cars? Do you really need to see yellow cabs pulling up at Terminal 1 when you're doing the FMC programming? I don't need to see it. Ground clutter, I think of turning that off. But I found a nice sweet spot here with these settings. See, 27, 28 frames per second there going. Construction clutter, I think there's a building site way up yonder. I don't need to see the cranes and boxes for that. I like to see some clutter around the airport. I really do, but all the GSE ground service experience or whatever it is, I'm using GSX, so I don't need any of that. Do I need detailed interiors? No, it's one of my pet hates in sceneries. Save me $5 and 10 FPS and do away with that. Just put a nice picture on the window. That's good enough for me. Terminals, people, no, I don't need them. I'll look at the scenery once inside and say, oh, that's nice, or that's not nice. I'll never go in there again. Air train, I'd like it on, but I don't even know where it is. So there you go. Static aircraft. This is one where people say turn the traffic off, and people are misunderstanding. I think they mean turn off FSLTL. I think that's a misunderstanding. I think what people are meaning turn off the traffic to get better frames is this here, static aircraft. So there's my settings. You can pause the video, do whatever you want, and look through those. So yeah, let's close that down. In settings, I'm going to show you them in a moment, but let's just hit our favorite button and let's slew back a little. Let's spin around. I didn't see. I thought they were going on 3-1 left, weren't they? I don't know where they're going. Doesn't matter. I'm not doing a flight. So here we go. So let's do a little bit of a taxi. I've got my sim sounds turned down because I'm going to be going outside a lot, and of course this sim is really, really loud outside. Okay, is that? I'm not normally taxiing that fast anyway. Is that? Yeah. Okay, I could turn FSLTL down or turn it off, and I'd get another 10 frames. It'd be smooth, but it's good enough, isn't it? Or is it not? It's okay, isn't it? It's good enough for me. Can have a head-to-head here with the Neo. It's not a Neo, is it? But anyway, who cares? Smooth, look at that. Gonna have a few stutters here and there. It's JFK. It's not Rochester. It's not whatever. Greenville, Spartanburg. No offense, I like flying there, but come on. And don't forget, I've got 3 other sceneries within a 20-mile radius there, pumping out. Avianca mowing down the tug. Super. Crazy Colombians. Nice people. Oh, hello. What do you want? Okay, so there you go. So I'm just going to swing around back to the terminal, of course, because the further you get from the terminal, the smoother it's going to get, of course. Probably going to fall down a hole here or something. Is that not smooth enough? Right, here we go. So there we go. I'm going to just let the plane taxi out there, or roll out, I should say, a little. Hit the brakes. So here's my settings. Yeah, they're not the usual settings I use. Not what I'd like. Global quality is actually high, but then I change a few things like trees, grass and bush to save a few frames here. Again, if I'm flying VFR, I'm going to be in the countryside. Everything's going to be on ultra. This is a funky one here. The LOD. It's actually on minimum almost. Actually, I put it to the minimum. If it won't go to 0. But we'll get to that in a minute. I mean, I like TAA. What I normally fly with is something. I'll show that in a minute. But I'm down at 90 render scaling here, 100 sharpening. Terrain level of detail, I normally have that a little higher, sort of 250, 350 at a small airport. And objects normally around the middle here, 100, 120. But again, let's just see those settings and see what we get. 32 frames per second. Oh no, okay, 25. Yeah, it's going to stay around about 25, 26. Mid-20s is what I get here. Flyable, usable. Even on landing, it's fine. So let's go back into what we'd all like to use. But yeah, you with 3rd and 4th generation cards, great. But I have a 2080 Ti. So this is what I normally would use at somewhere like, I don't know, whatever. I don't know, Denver or something. I'll be around about 120 here. I'll probably be around 250 here, I guess, and round about 100-ish. Like I said, about there. Yeah, okay. Let's see what happens now. There we go. 20, 19, 18. Yeah, you know, still not a disaster. But I'm below 20 now. Oh, 16. Now we're at 16. Yeah, there we go. Now that's pretty horrible, isn't it? 13, 14. Okay. Yeah, that's. I wouldn't use it if I had. That's unusual. Sorry, unusable. I think for me the cut-off point is probably 18 FPS. Yeah, that was 15 to 18 was Heathrow in P3D. Couldn't use it. Never flew there. Done dozens of flights in MSFS in Heathrow, and I love it. I did 3 this morning actually. So there you go. I mean, that's yeah. Okay, I'm panning a bit fast, but yeah, it's pretty horrible, isn't it? 9 FPS. There we go. Back in the cockpit. 17, 12. Yeah, I mean that's usable for some, but anyway, there you go. So you have to be a bit modest. Does that really look worse? I mean, let's have a little look. Let's do a little test. How's that looking? Looks good, huh? Alright, let's go back into the settings. Let's put them down to where I was, and I think this one, the level of detail, just knock it off. Come on, kids, knock it off. I don't know, what do we want there? 135. Let's go back down. I don't even remember where I was. It's still experimental stage. But, you know, they're a little bit more modest straight away. Let's see what that does. And again, if you can't handle dropping your settings because it has to look amazing, still, on first impressions, I can't really see a difference. I'm back at 28 frames per second. I'm not going to say it's smooth as a baby's cheek, but there's me panning full speed. Again, none of the shadowing that I had just now. This is fine. 20 FPS, and we're back to now 22, 23. Gotta get it load up. Good day, sir. Where are you going to? Boston or Detroit, I guess, eh? Blue Jean Baby. Okay, good. Yeah, so it is usable. It's up to you. I mean, it's just the way it is. Like I said at the beginning, you can't have everything. If we could, then we'd have everything, but we can't. It's JFK. For JetBlue's sake, it's JFK. It's not small scenery. Okay, let's pan over to 3-1. Is it 3-1? Left. Let's mix them up. Dyslexic numbers. Alright, anyway, that'll do, won't it? Let's see how the takeoff looks. And if you're getting a few less frames per second than you want, I mean, let's go a little more. Is it? I mean, okay, I don't know. I don't fly a VAT sim, so I don't mind pausing my sim now and again and changing some settings, but let's knock them down a little bit more. I mean, you can knock off water waves a little bit or whatever. Yeah, so let's see what that gives me. 29, 30. Let's go in the cockpit. What have I got? 27, 25. Okay, I know. Yeah, it's a bit blurry here. Yeah, I'll say that, but I've got them really knocked down, the settings. Let's see how it looks. What's wrong with you? Yeah, I know. I just haven't set it up properly. I know. It's all terrible. Sorry about that. Yeah, okay, I'd probably do the sharpening up a little bit here, but again, I'm 22, 21, and I think sim doesn't like the settings being changed. Ideally, I'd reload. Okay, but it's above this 20. I'm normally about 25 when I've reloaded the sim. Sorry, I'm not even looking at my speed there, but it's usable, isn't it? Whoa, what's that wind doing? Oh, yeah. 15, 18 across, 20 across. Wow, cool. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, let's do a little wing view now. Smooth enough, isn't it? It's usable. And for the big finale, we're going to do a wing over and good night. So there you go. See, be a bit modest and everything's going to be fine. Okay, thank you. We're going down in the Hudson. We're going in the Hudson.
Oh,
So thanks a lot, and hope it helps.
too low. Terrain.
See what the Airbus does now. What kind of protection have you got, baby? Toga lock. Oh my god. Is it going to save itself? Okay, good night. I'm going to load up a flight now and off we go.